Hi, you guys. So today for our end of the day meeting, we are going to read and start a new book series with each other called Henry and Mudge. First graders love Henry and Mudge. That glare will go away in a second, you guys. Ah! As soon as I start reading. Um, First graders love Henry and Mudge stories because they're just right reading for a lot of you guys, and because the characters are really fun and interesting. So we're going to use all the reading skills that we have been working on this week. The first one is we're going to take a sneak peek. So I see a dog and a boy on my front cover. I'm going to check the back blurb, and it says, in this first book in the series, Henry learns he is allowed to get a dog. He searches for just the right dog until he finds Mudge. Mudge is a small puppy, but then he grows and grows until he weighs 180 pounds. And Henry and Mudge become the very best of friends. Wow, I learned a lot by reading that back blurb. Now I know that the boy's name is Henry, the dog is Mudge, and that Mudge is going to be huge, 180 pounds. Wow. I also know, as a good reader, I'm going to start with the title page, Henry and Mudge, the first book of their adventures. Story by Cynthia Rylant, pictures by Susie Stevenson. Cynthia Rylant, by the way, is a very, very popular author. She writes lots of books in a series just like you guys. I know to check my table of contents. Now, this is a funny table of contents. Look, Henry, Mudge, Henry, Mudge, Mudge, Henry, Henry, and Mudge. Oh, I think I know what all the chapters are going to be about. Chapter 1, Henry. Henry had no brothers and no sisters. I want a brother, he told his parents. Sorry, they said. Henry had no friends on his street. I want to live on a different street, he told his parents. Sorry, they said. Henry had no pets at home. I want to have a dog, he told his parents. Sorry, they almost said. But first they looked at their house with no brothers and sisters. Then they looked at their street with no children. Then they looked at Henry's face. Then they looked at each other. Okay, they said. I want to hug you, Henry told his parents, and he did. The next chapter is called Mudge. Henry searched for a dog. Not just any dog, said Henry. Not a short one, he said. Not a curly one, he said. And no pointed ears. Ooh, when I look at this page, you guys, it makes me think of all of our dogs. This looks like Greta. Bodhi kind of looks like this. Maybe I see a little bit of Viviana's dog. Maybe I see a little bit of Dominic's dogs. Maybe Enzo's in here. Maybe John's dog looks a little like this guy or this guy. We have a lot of dogs in our class. Harley, what do you think? Look, I'm going to turn the page. Look at baby Mudge. Maybe this looks like one of your puppies. Then he found Mudge. Mudge had floppy ears, not pointed, and Mudge had straight fur, not curly. But Mudge was short. Because he's a puppy, Henry said. He'll grow. And did he ever? He grew out of his puppy cage. He grew out of his dog cage. He grew out of 7 collars in a row. And when he finally stopped growing, he weighed 180 pounds. He stood 3 feet tall, and he drooled. I'm glad you're not short, Henry said. And Mudge licked him, then sat on him. Henry. Henry used to walk to school alone. When he walked, he used to worry about tornadoes and ghosts, biting dogs, and bullies. He walked as fast as he could. He looked straight ahead. He never looked back. But now he walked to school with Mudge. And now when he walked, he thought about vanilla ice cream and rain and rocks and good dreams. He walked to school, but not too fast. He walked to school and sometimes backwards. He walked to school and patted Mudge's big head. Happy. Hey, I'm thinking about how we learn to study a character, and I'm thinking Henry used to be kind of scared and sad and lonely when he didn't have a dog, and he was nervous about tornadoes and ghosts and bullies. But now that he has a pet, he's really changing. And it says he walked to school happy. Wow, that's so interesting that a character's feelings can change. This next chapter is called Mudge. Mudge loved Henry's room. He loved the dirty socks. He loved the stuffed bear. He loved the fish tank. But mostly, he loved Henry's bed. You guys, we learned about predicting this week. I am making a big prediction right here. Does anybody know what Mudge is going to do? All 180 pounds of him? I think you're right. Because in Henry's bed was Henry. Mudge loved to climb in with Henry. Then he loved to smell him. He smelled his lemon hair. He smelled his milky mouth. He smelled his soapy ears. He smelled his chocolate fingers. Then he put his head by Henry's head. He looked at the fish tank. He looked at the bear. He looked at Henry. He licked him, and he fell asleep. Mudge. One day, Mudge took a walk without Henry. The sun was shining, the birds were flying, the grass smelled sweet. Mudge couldn't wait for Henry, so he left. He went down one road, sniffing the bushes, then down another road, kicking up dust. He went through a field across a stream, into some pine trees. And when he came out on the other side, he was lost. Oh no. Did any of you guys that have a dog or a cat ever worry about losing your pet? And I wonder how your pet felt when they were lost. Were they having fun or were they nervous? Henry. Uh-oh. Henry thought Mudge would be with him always. He thought Mudge made everything safe. He thought Mudge would never go away. And when Mudge did go away, when Henry called and called, but Mudge didn't come, Henry's heart hurt and he cried for an hour. But when he finished crying, Henry said, "Mudge loves me. He wouldn't leave. He must be lost." So Henry walked and walked, and he called and called, and he looked and looked for his dog Mudge. He walked down one road, then down another road. The sun shone as Henry ran through a field, calling and calling. The birds flew past as he stood beside a stream, calling and calling. And the tears fell again as he looked at the empty pine trees for his lost dog. "Mudge!" he called one last time. And Mudge woke up from his lonely sleep, then came running. Henry and Mudge. Every day when Henry woke up, he saw Mudge's big head. And every day when Mudge woke up, he saw Henry's small face. They ate breakfast at the same time. They ate supper at the same time. And when Henry was at school, Mudge just lay around and waited. Mudge never went for a walk without Henry again. And Henry never worried that Mudge would leave. Because sometimes in their dreams, they saw long, silent roads, big, wide fields, deep streams, and pine trees. In those dreams, Mudge was alone and Henry was alone. So when Mudge woke up and knew Henry was with him, he remembered the dream and stayed closer. And when Henry woke up and knew Mudge was with him, he remembered the dream and the looking and the calling and the fear, and he knew he would never lose Mudge again. Oh, that was a really great first story of Henry and Mudge. I hope you guys liked it. We're going to read a bunch more next week, and I hope that maybe you look in our Sora library and see if you can find any Henry and Mudge books of your own, or maybe even on Epic, and you could start reading them too. I'll see you for more Henry and Mudge on Monday. Have a good weekend.